Hey guys, I hope all of you are doing good. Yeah, Ayush here. And as I told you in my introductory video that we are going to start with cost accounting. So this is going to be my first lecture, and let's begin. I have already shared with you guys how we are planning to move ahead. What would be the classes? Okay, what lectures would we cover, and in what serial number it is being covered. It would be covered. So basically, this lecture is reserved for introduction of cost accounting. I would not even say the cost accounting because these are the times of changing the names. Even Allahabad has changed to Prayagraj, so I would not say cost accounting. Cost accounting, the name is very old concept. The new name has been there. It is strategic cost management. Okay, the cost accounting has gone, and now it's a strategic cost management. I don't know the relevance why the name of Allahabad is changed to Prayagraj, but I know the relevance why the name of cost accounting is changed to strategic cost management. Okay, and even Yogi ji might know what is the reason of changing the name. So, without any nonsense, let's start with strategic cost management introduction. Okay, so in this video, I'm basically going to cover only introductory part. I'm going to make you introduce with the cost accounting, the earlier concept, the traditional concept of cost accounting, and what is the need of changing the name of cost accounting. Okay, so I will tell you why the name of traditional cost accounting is changed to strategic cost management. So what basically the cost accounting is? Look, I am not going to write anything. If you guys want, you guys can note down the things, or if you guys want, you guys can record the things as well. Okay, for your future reference. Okay, if you guys really need to record, you guys can. Okay, but I would recommend that you just hear concentrately, and I have told you earlier as well that if you are concentrated, you will able to see it. Okay, so what is basically the traditional cost accounting? Why the traditional cost accounting is changed to strategic cost management? What is the need for that? Okay, so traditional cost accounting basically, in traditionally what we used to think whenever we used to hear the name of cost accounting, the first thing that used to be there in the mind is cost reduction. Okay, I can say cost control. We in that time we do not used to think that we needed to go early, go far in the business. We were not concerned about the going concern. We were just thinking about reducing the cost. Okay, I could say the things used to be there was budget things. The people used to make the budgets and they have to stick through it. They usually think that the budget they have prepared, that used to be that have to be get the target which is mentioned in the budget and nothing else. Okay, so in traditionally what used to be there, that there used to be a cost accounting. They used to fix a cost, and they used to think that it is their target to achieve that cost. Okay, they do not wanted to go beyond the cost. But what is changing in these times? Okay, so in this time there is the thinking which is developed in the mind of the business and entrepreneur, that we are here in the market for being in a long term. Okay, if we'll stick to current profit, we would not be able, certainly we would not be able to achieve profit in the future period. So what is the thing which is there in the mind of the current entrepreneurs or the current businesses is future oriented thinking, I can say. Okay, they are not just thinking about the current profit, they are thinking about the future profit. They are becoming future oriented, and due to this future orientation, the need of strategic cost management is here. So what basically the limitations was there of traditional cost accounting? It was, I can say, it was excessively focused on cost reduction. It was not focusing on the quality. It was excessively focusing on cost reduction. It was just focusing on present profit, not the future profit. But what is the need of current time is future profit. Okay, so this was, I think, the first limitation which was there of traditional in the traditional cost accounting, due to which we are adopting the current scenario, the strategic cost management. The second thing I could say is the reactive approach of the traditional cost management. In traditional cost management, what used to be there, that they used to take a reaction after the incidents has happened. But currently in strategic cost management, we are becoming proactive. We want that the incidents which is going to cost the organization should not occur. Okay, we are taking preventive measures rather than being reactive in the past in the traditional cost management. In strategic cost management, we are becoming proactive. Proactively, we are taking the steps to avoid any any mishappening which could be there in the organization. Okay, and other thing I can say in traditional cost accounting was that there was no more in I can say improvisation. The improvisation scope was very less. They used to stick throughout their lifetime on a single thing. But this time the market is a changing market. The scenario is changing, the customer is changing, and the need of customer is also changing. So since the everything is changing, we should also change. We also felt the need to change the cost accounting. That's why we changed it to strategic cost management. Okay, other short other things were also there. Other, I can say, other limitation of traditional cost accounting, I can say that it was more present focused rather than future focused. It was very used to be a short term outlook. It was having, it was not having the future orientation. It was just thinking about the present. It was not the management guys were not having plan after 4 years, after 5 years, where they wanted to be. They were just having a plan of present time. They were just thinking about the present, not the future. So that's why there was a need of changing traditional cost management to strategic cost management. Okay, and that's why we got to know one new concept, that is strategic cost management. Okay, now what is strategic cost management? As the name suggests, think strategically, manage the cost strategically. Not only think about the present profit, you strategically manage everything to be future oriented as well. Okay, and I have already told you guys what was the need of changing from traditional cost management to strategic cost management. I've already discussed that thing, that there was many limitation in the traditional cost accounting. That's why we changed to new cost accounting, which is strategic cost accounting. Okay, now in this new cost accounting, in the new strategic cost accounting, I can say, what are the things which we used to discuss? What are the things which we used to keep in mind while we are saying that we have moved to a new cost accounting system? What are the things which we keep in mind while having the things in the mind that yes, there's something new? So first thing, we analyze where we stand in the market. We analyze our industry. We do not only think about our firm or our company. We analyze the whole industry. And what comes in the industry, what comes in the market, I can say we come in the market, our rivals come in the market, and third thing, the customers come in the market. So we analyze not only ourselves, we analyze other as well. In the strategic cost management, first thing, what if you wanted to write, you can write it down. First thing, we analyze our position in the market. We analyze I can say strategic positioning analysis, in which we analyze where do we stand in the market, how the market works. Second thing, we analyze what are our cost drivers. What are our cost drivers? Now, what is the cost driver? I'll make you understand. Third thing we analyze is the chain, the value chain, which is there in our industry, or I can say in the market. What are the value chain? So let me go ahead with first thing, the strategic positioning analysis. So what is strategic positioning analysis? In strategic positioning analysis, we analyze where do we stand in the market, as I told you guys. Okay, we analyze the 5 forces which are there. I can say the Porter has given you the 5 forces, the bargaining power of buyer, bargaining power of customer, threat of substitute, threat of new entries. These are a few things which are given by the Porter. I'll tell you this in detail after some time. So in I can say in analyzing our strategic position, we analyze where do we stand in the market. Second thing is cost driver analysis. Now, what is cost driver analysis? In cost driver analysis, we analyze that what are the drivers, what are the the key cost component in our business, without which our industry, our business cannot move ahead. So there are few things which needed to be there, for I can say for keeping the business moving ahead. For keeping the business moving ahead, there are few things which is also called cost driver. Those things which cannot be replaced, or without which the business cannot proceed ahead. So analyze those components. And this is the second thing in strategic cost management. The third analysis is value chain analysis. Now, what is value chain analysis? Value chain, as the name suggests, is the chain. The chain which analyze the value of the organization. There are, I can say, two type of chain are there. One is the internal chain. Internal chain is also called the primary chain. The primary things which are there, the primary things of value which are there. And the second thing is secondary things, secondary, chain of values. Now, what comes in the primary value chain? Wait a second, guys. Now, what comes in, the primary thing? What are the primary chain analysis? So in primary chain analysis, I can say the things which are directly related to your business. I can say if I'm in manufacturing, I can say for me, the things which are directly related to my business is, I can say, the purchase of raw material. Okay, the sale of raw material, the converting of raw material into the finished goods. I can say marketing of my product. It is my primary value chain. And servicing, servicing after installation. If I'm manufacturing fridges, after manufacturing the fridge, I have to give after sale service as well. So these are the primary things which are directly related to my business. So in value chain analysis, we analyze what are our primary things and what are our secondary things. Now, what is secondary things? The secondary thing analysis is analyzing those things which come after primary things. Okay, meaning that you needed to have a good command over secondary things to perform the primary things well. I can say what could be the secondary things if I talk about about a manufacturing entity only. So I can say procurement of raw material. Now I have told you that procurement of raw material was there in primary activity as well. But what is the support activity in that case? The procurement of raw material related to me. It is, you are having a good command over your supplier. You are having a good selection of supplier. Okay, the raw material that is coming from the suppliers go down to your place is the support activity. I can say the transport. Okay. The second thing is technological development. Now, what is technology? For executing, for performing any business activity, you needed to have a good, strong technology, especially in these days. Okay. I can say if you are doing the billing, you are doing it on the computer, so you have to have good command over computer. Your computer software should have been in a ready position. If you are manufacturing on the machine, that is also a technology support. So this thing comes under the support activity. The third thing I can say is your employees. This employee thing also come in support activity. When you go to the business, or I can say the industry, this employee thing is called HR activity, human resource activity. So I can say HR activity also come in as support activity. The fourth thing is firm ka infrastructure, the planning. You have to have a good management for the planning, for finance, accounting, legal, and other works. So these things I have told you that these are few things. These are the few components of strategic cost management. You have to have analysis of your position. Where do you stand in the market? You have to analyze what are the cost drivers, what are the key cost drivers which are there, without which you cannot achieve your that the topmost objective. Without having a good command over cost driver, you cannot achieve those things. So what you needed to do, you have to analyze, you have to identify what those cost drivers are, and you have to have a good grab over those cost drivers. You needed to find some ways to reduce the cost related to those cost drivers, or you have to have a good methodology to execute those cost driver in the best way. The third thing is the value chain analysis. And in value chain, I told you there used to be two things. First is the primary activities. Second is the secondary activities. Okay, now one thing, wait a second. This value chain is very important thing. There could be a sufficient number of theory questions from this value chain. So what I'm planning that I should, tell you guys in detail what the value chain could be. Wait a second. Now, let me tell you what the value chain is. We have told you, I have told you that the value chain basically consists two type of activities. One is the primary activity and second is the secondary activities. We know what the primary activities are and we know what the secondary activities are. But the most important thing is whether the primary activity or secondary activity, these are the only thing which used to be there in the value chain. I would say no. Value chain is a very vast concept, is a very bigger concept. Other than having a good command over your primary activity or secondary activity in the value chain, you have to have a good knowledge of your rivals as well. I've told you about rivals earlier as well when I was when I'm introducing you the strategic cost management. I've told you that there used to be the cost driver, there used to be your position in the market, and I have told you about porter as well. But in value chain as well, you have to have good command over the industry. If you are having a good command over your industry, definitely your value would increase. If you know what your customers are, if you know what type of things your customer want, you are able to produce those things. If I'm talking about Dubai, suppose let me take an example of Dubai in India. In Dubai, the a person is ready to spend around 2500 rupees on one jean. Let me take an example of jeans only. Okay, so a person is ready to spend 2500 rupees on a jeans in Dubai. Why? Because the income of Dubai people is more. And if your market is Dubai, which type of company would be more beneficial, would be more successful there in Dubai? I could say the branded companies. If I say that the people are ready to spend more in Dubai on the clothes, I can say Van Heusen could be a good brand over there. I can say Levi's could grow over there. But suppose, let me talk about India. Okay, suppose that in India, people are not ready to spend more over the clothes. People are somewhere uh, wanted to buy some cheap type of products, or I can say uh, they are there is no much market of Levi's or Van Heusen, then I can say that these products could not grow more here. So if you are having a good command over your market, that what your market is, how your rivals are, and what the customer want, then I can say you can definitely add something in your value chain. In that case, your value chain would be greater. You will able to uh, well analyze your strategic your value chain. You'll be able to strategically analyze your value chain. So first thing what I feel, what is there is that you have to have good command over the market while analyzing the value chain. While look, let me tell you from the beginning, I've told you two things, that there are firstly that there are two components of the value chain. First is primary component, second is secondary component. Okay, primary component, which are the main component of the value chain. Second is secondary component, which support the primary component regarding the value chain. Okay, now I'm telling you that for analyzing the value chain, you have to have good command over the market. Now, how you can have good command over the market? So for this, Mr. Porter has given 5 forces, which is also called Porter's 5 forces analysis for value chain. Look, again saying the value chain could have been a very important concept for your exam. There could be a simple, straightforward question related to value chain in your exam. That's why I'm telling you guys this concept in detail. Okay. Now what is Porter's 5 force model? Porter has basically told that For analyzing the market, you have to analyze 5 things. First thing is bargaining power of buyer. What is the bargaining power of buyer? Now, let me, take you to the economics. We have told in, we have, read in the economics that if there are more supply, the supply is more, then the price used to be less, and the supply is less, the price used to be more. In the same way, bargaining power of buyer. Suppose if there are more supplier of a same product in the market, then the bargaining power of buyer would be more. Look, if you are going, if let me take a very simple example of a vegetable seller. Okay, suppose there is a vegetable seller crossing the street, down to your house. There is a vegetable seller who is coming. Okay, now and you are living in an isolated place where from your house the market is very far, the vegetable mandi, I can say, is very far. So this vegetable seller used to come here daily, and he used to charge twice of the rate which is there in the market. And the people, you guys, do not have any option but purchasing the vegetable from that vegetable seller only. Why? Because the mandis are very far. You cannot be there in the mandi. So I can say there is a monopoly of that vegetable seller. There is the monopoly of the supplier in that market. So in this case, the bargaining power of you guys, the bargaining power of buyer, I can say, is very less. But suppose the mandi is very near from your market. I can say just after one lane there is a mandi. So in that case, what would be there if vegetable seller is even charging 1.25 times than the mandi? You will straightforwardly refuse him that I'll go to the mandi and I'll buy it from there. In that case, your bargaining power is more. So how you analyze the industry? First thing is you have to analyze what is the bargaining power of buyer. Second thing is what is the bargaining power of supplier. Now what is the bargaining power of supplier? Same way, but applying to suppliers. Okay. Third thing is threat of new entries. Means how easily the new entries could be there in the market in that industry. Now, what are the things that prevent the new entries? The first thing I can say is the government rules and regulation. If there are more rules of government in the market, then new entries would be less. In the same way, there are many barriers. There are other barriers in the industry. The process of starting the business related to that industry is very hard. In that case, I can say new entry would be very less. Okay. The fourth thing is threat of substitute product. What is threat of substitute product? Look, suppose you are working in one industry. Let me take an example. You are working in iron industry. Suppose it's an example. You are making the iron wardrobe. Okay. In that case, what could be the substitute product of an iron wardrobe? I can say the wooden wardrobe. The wooden wardrobe could be an effective substitute of an iron wardrobe. Okay. In this case, if your product is having more substitutes, I can say the steel wardrobe, the wooden wardrobe, or other wardrobe, whichever could be there. Okay. If your product is having more substitute, your bargaining power would be less. So you have to analyze that how many substitutes of your industry is there available in the market. So you are firstly analyzing your industry. Secondly, you are analyzing the market of all, the whole product which you are making. Fourth thing is there. Okay. Now, fifth thing is intensity of competition. How intense the competition is. Now, how the intensity of competition can be measured. Look, if your firm, I can say, if your firm is very big firm in that industry, and there is no similar firm available in the market which can match the competition of your firm. In that case, the competition would be very less, I can say. But suppose you are a mediocre size firm in the market, and there are many other firms available in the market which are mediocre as well as the large number of firm, large size firm. In that case, the competition in the market would be higher. So this way, Porter has given us 5 forces to analyze the market. First is bargaining power of buyer, bargaining power of supplier, threat of new entry, threat of substitute, and what is the intensity. And I can say the intensity of rivals. I can say intensity of the competition intensity. So these are the 5 things which we analyze while we are analyzing the value chain. Firstly, we analyze the market. Now, the second thing, what we analyze, I've told you, the second thing we analyze is, the core component, the core competencies you are having. In earlier, earlier when I was describing you guys the strategic cost management, I've told you that there is some cost driver analysis. In the same way, there is core competency analysis. In the same, I'm describing the same thing in detail. Now, what is core competency analysis or cost driver analysis? Look, the core competency analysis is that what is, as I told you earlier, the core competence is in which thing you are the best. Analyze what you can make the best, and you have to work more on it. Let me take an example. Let me take the example of Nokia only. Okay. So what happened with the Nokia? Nokia was the prime smartphone seller one time, but with the changing market, changing dynamic market, when the Android came, due to dynamism, what Nokia decided not to go with the Android, and with the time, Nokia ruined completely. In the same way, if you are having some core competency on one product, you have to grab, you have to work more on that core competency. You cannot lose your core competency, because due to that thing only you are there available in the market. If you are fighting in the market due to your core competency, and if you are letting that core competency to go, there would be very less chance for you to survive in the market. So second thing, when you are analyzing the value chain, you have to analyze the core competency. Core competency means what is the thing in which you are the best, which what do you have which other do not have. It can be the resource as well. Okay, now resource, what is the resource? Your labor resource. Suppose your labor is your core competency. So in that case, your labor is your core competency, means you cannot let your labor go. You have to work more on your labor. If your labor is best available in the market, in that case you cannot let your labor go. Okay, so first thing is resource. Resources can be anything. If you're I can say your fixed resource, your tangible resource is very effective. I can say, if your machinery which you are having is the best quality machine and no one other is having, in that case you have to keep your core competency, your machinery safe, and definitely you have to work more on it. You have to maintain it as your core competency. You cannot let it go. So second analysis is core competency analysis. Okay, now what is third analysis? When you're analyzing your value chain, the best way would be you bifurcate the whole industry, the whole firm in some short parts. It is also called the segment analysis. Now, what is segment analysis? Let me tell you this thing in detail. Suppose if I take the example of Nestle. Okay, in that case, Nestle makes toffees, Nestle makes milk powder, and Nestle makes many other things. I do not know what other things Nestle make, but suppose Nestle make 10 things. In that case, for every segment, for every business segment, you should have the separate management, and you have to identify each segment equally. Or if you're if you are prioritizing or categorizing your segment, you have to make sure that due to that categorization, any of your segment is not somewhere letting down, somewhere going down. Okay, so you suppose that some of your segment, if I say let me take the example of Nestle only. Suppose the milk powder segment of Nestle, it's not working that efficiently. then you have to, separately think about that segment. You cannot club all the segments, at one place, and you cannot compare all the segment equally. One segment might have some of the great things which other segment do not have. It is possible. Okay, so best thing would be treat all the segments separately. Treat all the segments separately. Prepare separate plan for each segment, and develop your planning on all segments in the way that segment is going. Okay, you cannot treat all the segment equally, but you have to put equal attention on every segment. If some segment require more attention, you have to put that as well. Okay, but you cannot put your whole attention on one segment and let other segment go. In that case, your business would not thrive. Your one segment can achieve that target, but your whole business cannot. And if we are thinking about the business, we have to accumulate all the segment equally, and we have to keep forward all the segments. Okay, so I've told you three things. One is you have to, for value chain analyzing, you have to analyze your core competency, you have to analyze your segment, and third thing, you have to analyze your market. Okay, so this is basically an introductory part. Let me see if something left related to introductory part, which I can tell you. Okay, one more thing. How you can, if you are thinking strategically, definitely. So how you guys can, be superior in the market? How you guys can achieve better performance in other things? So I can say there are two things in which you can perform better than the similar industry which is available in the market. Okay, the first thing is, you can take advantage of differentiation. Now, what is the advantage of differentiation that you guys can take? Suppose, let me take the example of Maggi and Yippee. Okay, now Maggi is an established brand. It's always been an established brand, and Maggi was established very much prior to Yippee. Okay, but what used to be there in the Maggi? Maggi used to be the simple Maggi, the noodles simply, which is packed in that manner, which you can prepare instantly. Now, for competing Maggi, what Yippee needed to do? Yippee either needed to sell at a price lower than Maggi, or it needed to do something which Maggi was not doing. So what Yippee did, Yippee added the vegetable in its noodles. When you are preparing the Yippee, you used to get the chopped onions or chopped carrots or chopped vegetables there in the Yippee. So this was a different thing which Yippee did, and it somewhere was able to compete Maggi. In this way, Yippee was somewhere able to compete Maggi. So if you're competing in the market, what you needed to do? Either you needed to think differently from your rivals, or you needed to lower your cost to reach to the people. At least you needed to go to the people and tell the people now that we are here in the market, we are the new thing, let us give a chance to serve you guys. So how you guys can do that? Firstly, you have to make your product different from the competition that you're having, or you have to keep the price of your product lower. This is the way you can thrive in the market. Okay, so there are two type of advantage could be there, the low cost advantage, and I can say the differentiation advantage. Okay, so in this way we have basically have an idea of the strategic cost management. What is strategic cost management? I've told you about that. You have to, in strategic cost management, you do not only think about the present, you think about the future as well. You used to be the future oriented. Okay, you think about going concern. You think that it is not the only year in which you are going to earn profit. There would be many years, and for earning profit in many years, what you needed to do, you needed to establish yourself firstly in the market, and after establishing yourself, then you go to the people, you earn profit in the future. If for first 2 years, suppose if for first 2 years, if you are losing 10 rupees, but due to losing those 10 rupees, you are going to earn 30 rupees every year in the future, then losing those 10 rupees is beneficial rather than earning 20 rupees today. Okay, this is what the strategic cost management is, and this is what, this thing was not there in the traditional cost management. That's why we are changing from traditional cost management to strategic cost management. That is the reason why the name of Allahabad is changed to Prayagraj. Okay, guys, so I have basically told you what is the strategic cost management. I've told you that for in strategic cost management, you need to analyze the market, you need to analyze what is your core competency, you need to analyze what is your core cost, I can say. You need to analyze the value chain, you need to analyze the segment, think separately, think efficiently, and manage the things effectively. This is what the strategic cost management is. So this is from my side the introduction of strategic cost management. From tomorrow, from the next lecture, I can say, we will move to the practical part of this subject, strategic cost management. Till then, have a great care of yourself. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Bye.